Good morning, everyone. Today it is Monday and it's sunny and just about 70, and we're gonna try and spray some rye. Hopefully we don't get anything stuck because conditions aren't ideal. All the rye is on top of sand hills. I know it's fit where the rye's at, but getting to the rye could prove a little tricky. So I took the Rhino out and scouted everything. I think we can get it all done. There's about 40 acres spread out in a whole bunch of different fields, but I'm gonna start where it's drier and work my way towards the wetter ground. Maybe by the end of the day it'll dry just a little bit. Right now I'm gonna go to FS and get the tank that they let us use and get a load of chemical. Then I gotta run out, get the sprayer out. I got a couple things to do to it yet. I gotta make sure all the tips are clean, and I think I should blow the air filter out real quick, but that won't take too long. Hopefully we'll be spraying soon. So normally we wouldn't try and spray when it's as wet as it is, but there's a chance of rain this afternoon and a chance every day the rest of this week. But we're thinking this might be our last chance to be able to get it with chemical. We're gonna do our best, try not to get anything stuck. I think we should be all right if I just try and drive carefully and pick my spots where to turn around and whatnot, but I think we can do it. Backup cameras are great, aren't they? Oil's good. These things are so cold-blooded, I don't know what the deal is. This might be hard to see, but this year we're going to be running Climate Field View in the sprayer. So they just made Climate available to rogators around August last year. We bought it last year and I only got to try it out to spot spray some cocklebur, but it's really neat. It keeps really good records of what you're doing. It'll record temperature, wind speed, wind direction, stuff like that, and then it'll create an as-applied map. So it basically takes care of all the records that you need to keep for spraying. So before I was writing everything down, and you always forget to write it down or forget what you did and whatnot. So this should take care of that, and it'll just be great for keeping records. But how it works is this little circle thing here is called a drive, and it reads all the information that's coming out of the Viper monitor. So this is what controls the rate and creates a field map and whatnot. Then this connects via Bluetooth to the iPad. Then it'll create basically the same thing, but it'll also record all the weather information. And then as I'm going through the field, say if Dad wants to look at it, he can pull it up on his phone immediately as long as this is connected to the internet. What I'm going to do right now is I've got about 200 gallons of just straight water in the tank. I'm going to turn all the nozzles on and walk out along them and make sure none of them are plugged up, because if you have a nozzle plugged up, you'll have a strip of rye that doesn't get killed, and then you'll just be fighting it later. So that's what I'm going to do real quick, as long as I can figure out how to run this Viper. It's been 6 months since I ran it, so we'll see. Got all the nozzles working. I just had about 5 or 6 that were plugged up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up like I'm actually spraying and make sure my AccuBoom is working. AccuBoom will shut the sprayer off in sections if you go over a spot that you've already sprayed. So this sprayer has 5 sections on it. So if you're coming up to an angle and the end of your boom starts to overlap, once it gets so far, it'll shut that section off, then the next one, then the next one, until you get completely covered where you've already been, and it'll shut it off so you're not double applying. working. Shutting everything off in sections, so now just my outside section's on, and yep, now they're all coming back on. Double checking to see if my auto steer's working. Looks like it's good. I forgot I have to hit agree on this SmartTrax box or it won't do anything. So we got everything flushed out. I'm gonna go put a load of Roundup in, see if we can get some rye sprayed. I just got a partial load in the tank. I want to keep the sprayer pretty light, so I only took 300 gallons. I got a whopping 1 acre of rye to spray here, and then I'm going to move down the road to the next farm. Hopefully you can see, but this climate is pretty awesome. You can go in and put all your applications in, and when you go to spray, you just select what you're doing. I got rye burn down as the name of it. We're spraying 10 gallons of 28, 44 ounces of Buccaneer, and 10 gallons of water. All right, we're in the field. Let's see what happens. Well, that was fun. I just sprayed 1 acre. It took me about 40 seconds. Now to the next field. So the reason why we only had 1 acre of rye here is because we had a little bit extra in the drill. So we just went out and emptied it out on the sand hill, and it just happened to be about 1 acre. So, well, we won't be farming there for a while. Okay, we're out here in the field. Got about 6 acres up on that sand hill right there, and a little bit right here. Then I've got about 10 acres across the road, so this shouldn't take me too long, as long as I don't get stuck. Looks like all my nozzles are spraying. That's a good thing. That was a little hairy, just about buried it. We'll have some tracks to fill in now. I knew that would happen. I didn't do that, and I don't know who did. I'm gonna hop across the road and get a little bit more chemical, see if I can get all that on, and then maybe I'll send Grandpa for another load. So I should have about, I don't know, 8 acres left here. And then I'm gonna hop down the road, and I got another probably 10 down there. And this rye looks so good, it really sucks that we have to kill it. Spraying is pretty fun. I like spraying. Who keeps doing that? I just noticed I've got a nozzle plugged up. I'm gonna go clean that out real quick. I'm doing my last pass around the edge here. This is where AccuBoom comes in handy because I can drive where I've already been spraying and it automatically shuts the nozzles off on this side of the machine. Ahead and sprayed this little 4.5 acre field. This is the field that we were disking back in episode 1. As you can see, there's still a lot of grass coming through. We figured if we sprayed this, it would kill the grass, and then it would make it a little easier to work up once we go through this with the field cultivator. So here's the latest issue with the sprayer. That outer boom will not unfold until I get out and kick it. It's like it gets stuck in the cradle or something. Alright, I got the easy stuff done. 2 of the 4 fields I've got left might be a little tricky. They're a little bit wetter farms, and I don't know. We're just going to go for it. See what happens. So this is the coverage map that Climate makes. You can see the blue line is the border of the farm. And you're probably thinking, well, that's weird how they just planted parts of it, but each one of these spots where I sprayed the rye is a big sand ridge. Those sand ridges, year after year, they just don't produce much of a crop because it's so fine and they just don't hold on to nutrients, don't hold on to moisture. So what we're thinking is that rye will die and create a kind of a mat on the top to kind of hold some of that moisture so that the crop will have more water. You know, we're not asking for a miracle. If we could get 40 or 50 bushel corn on those sand ridges, that'll be a huge improvement over what we've been getting. Here on the Brenner farm, there's 80 acres here. There's 80 acres total. There's just a few on the sand ridge that I've got to spray. If you can see, this is unworked bean stubble, and I really don't want to cut any tracks here because I'm hoping to no-till this farm, so I got to be really careful. But the problem is, this is one of our wettest farms, so I don't think I'm going to be able to not cut tracks. So I can show you some of the controls of the sprayer. This is your hydrostat handle. It makes you go forward and backwards. Each one of these switches is one of the 5 sections on the boom. If you're in an area where AccuBoom won't really work for you, you can turn these off manually. This is your master apply button. This will turn the spray on and off. This button raises the boom up and down. This right button does the right side up, and the left button does left side up and down. This is your foamer. I don't really use that a whole lot because it's got auto steer. This is to turn your pump on. These are the unfold and fold buttons. This is your sparge valve, open or close. I don't really know what these do. That button you use if you hit something, so hopefully you don't hit anything. If you want foamer to come out both sides, you hit that button. I have no idea what that is, and we have a manual sump, so this button does nothing. Park and brake, throttle, Viper Pro. This controls your rate, so kind of like the anhydrous. If I speed up or slow down, it'll adjust how much is flowing to keep you running the right rate. And then of course I've got the climate iPad. Got another one done. Man, this weather is just kind of a tease. It's 70 degrees and sunny, and you just want to go and get everything done, but you can't because it's too wet and it's going to rain the rest of the week. Oh well, we'll get it done. We always do. So this next field, the rye is out there in the middle of the field. I don't want to drive over there along the ditch because it looks like it's really wet. So I'm thinking I can follow this sand ridge around and get out there. That's what I'm going to try. Uh-oh. A little sticky. Well, it wasn't pretty, but we made it. It's getting kind of blue to the north, but straight west, not so blue, so we might miss it. Well, let's do it again. Come on, you got it. So this is the field that I've been the most worried about. All in the back is a big sand ridge. That's where we've got the rye at. But everything else is pretty heavy clay. So I know all this is wet. Thankfully, there's a lane that goes almost all the way back there, and I should be able to just jump right across to the sand hill without burying everything. Well, I made it. Everything's going good. All the rye is sprayed. Now it probably won't rain. But we got it done, cut a few tracks. I'm going to take the sprayer back to Grandpa's and take the power washer and wash all the 28 off the booms, because this thing will probably be sitting for a while, and 28% nitrogen is very corrosive. So I want to spray that off so we don't have any rust issues. Well, that's it for this video. We got a little bit accomplished today. I'd like to just keep running, but it's looking like there's a rain shower coming, and we'll just have to see what happens. The fields are definitely too wet to do anything. I cut plenty of tracks trying to spray that rye, but you know, it wouldn't take long with weather like we had today for us to be able to do something. I'm really hoping that this rain pattern that we've been stuck in starts to hold off for a while, because it's getting time to plant corn. There's a little bit planted around us. I would say maybe 2 or 3% of the acres around us are planted. I just put the sprayer away at Grandpa's. I was going to take a ride out towards the lighter areas and see if anybody's planting out there. Once again, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, then you'll always know when I've got a new video out. Also, you can check me out on Instagram at West Farms. I usually post a picture every day when we're in the field, and even when we're not in the field, I just post a picture of what I'm doing. So, thanks for watching. See you next time. Planting over there.